Fannie Mae touts a recession. Existing home sales retracting per the National Association of Realtors. Price corrections possible, says ING chief economist. Is it time to get out of the housing market? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to cover new data from Fannie Mae, the National Association of Realtors, and Yahoo Finance. There is so much information to unpack here. Thank you so much for tuning in. One caveat, I'm a Florida, Georgia real estate broker, not a financial advisor. All right, let's begin. Okay, so we have some new data from Fannie Mae. Rapidly rising rates and persistent inflation further softens economic outlook. Housing activity expected to slow further as affordability worsens. Persistent inflation, rising interest rates, and a slowdown of global economic growth are the primary contributing factors to updated expectations that full year 2022 real GDP will grow at a reduced rate of 1.3%, 0.8 percentage points less than previously predicted, according to the May 2022 commentary from the Fannie Mae Economic Strategic Research Group, ESR. The ESR Group's latest forecast sees second quarter 2022 growth rebounding to 1.6% following last month's news that the economy contracted by 1.4% in the first quarter. The ESR Group continues to believe that the Fed's efforts to curtail inflation by tightening monetary policy are unlikely to result in a so-called soft landing. Expectations for a modest recession beginning in the second half of 2023 remain unchanged, though the risk of such a contraction occurring sooner have increased as consumer spending power is increasingly constrained by elevated inflation and a rapidly rising rate environment. The ESR Group also expects a meaningful slowdown in home sales for the second and third quarter of 2022, followed by a softening in construction activity and ultimately a large deceleration in home price growth. With mortgage rates having risen faster in the last 5 months than in any period since 1981, the ESR Group expects both purchase and refinance origination to decline meaningfully. And it goes on to say, financial conditions have tightened significantly and the economy is slowing faster than previously expected as markets adjust to the Federal Reserve's tightening guidance, said Doug Duncan, Fannie Mae Senior Vice President and Chief Economist. Uncertainty continues to weigh heavily on markets, the geopolitical risk rising as the Russian war in Ukraine extends into the third month. The impact to prices of expected reduction in agricultural production, as well as a continued increase in house prices, suggests to us a difficult path for the Fed to return inflation to its 2% target rate in a timely manner, and of course, in the absence of an economic downturn. So, Fannie Mae is pricing in a recession in the middle of 2023. However, new earnings from Walmart, Kohl's, and Target supports that the economy could be in a recession or we will be in one before the fall. Moreover, David Sachs, co-founder of Kraft Ventures, claims the market is frozen and we're in the worst downturn since the dot-com crash, and it looks like we're heading into a very serious recession. Okay, so we have some new data from the National Association of Realtors. Existing home sales retracted 2.4% in April. Existing home sales fell for the third straight month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 5.61 million. Sales were down 2.4% from the prior month and 5.9% from 1 year ago. With slower demand, the inventory of unsold existing homes climbed to 1.03 million by the end of April, or the equivalent of 2.2 months of monthly sales pace. The median existing home sales price increased at a slower year-over-year pace of 14.8% to $391,200. So, existing home sales retracted 2.4% in April, and it looks like more declines are imminent in the up-and-coming months, likely returning the housing market to pre-pandemic levels. Housing supply is starting to improve as well. Housing market is looking increasingly vulnerable with a price correction possible. The housing market is looking increasingly vulnerable with a price correction possible, says one economist. ING's chief international economist James Knightley points to a rapid rise in home prices, making it more challenging for prospective buyers to save for a deposit at a time when inflation is shrinking real incomes and confidence is suffering. On top of this, the latest housing data shows that this sector is the most vulnerable to rising rates environment, with the growing prospect of a slowdown and potential correction in coming quarters, Knightley wrote in a recent note. And it goes on to say, the tide may be turning now. Mortgage applications are plunging as borrowing costs are rising. Housing supply is expected to hit the market later this year when demand is potentially dropping. Hence, our belief that the rapid price appreciation of housing could quickly flatten out and possibly reverse, writes Knightley. However, there is one silver lining of sorts. Falling house prices would get inflation lower more quickly, said the economist. Lower inflation would allow the Fed to move to reverse course and cut rates back to neutral more quickly, helping to prevent a broader and deeper economic downturn. So, James Knightley, chief international economist, believes rapid price appreciation could flatten out or even reverse course as mortgage applications are falling while rates are rising. More supply of housing is expected to come to market in the later half of the year while demand is slowing. Knightley believes that falling housing prices would lower inflation more quickly, allowing the Fed to lower future rate hikes to neutral. So, do you think we're heading into an imminent recession? Let us know in the comments. Okay, so today's takeaway. Fannie Mae sees home sales slowing down for the second and third quarter following by softening in construction activity and a large deceleration of home prices. Also, Fannie Mae noted that financial conditions are tightening significantly, and the economy is slowing faster than previously expected due to rising rates and inflation. ING Chief International Economist James Knightley believes the housing market is looking vulnerable, with price corrections possible due to future inventory coming to market while demand is potentially dropping. Finally, existing home sales fell for the third straight month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 5.61 million. Sales were down 2.4% from the prior month and 5.9% from 1 year ago. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button. I'm a Florida, Georgia real estate broker, not a financial advisor. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.